Hi, and thanks for joining. It's Patty from PS Paper Crafts with another card. I want to show you how to make this birthday card using the Elegantly Said and then I think it's called the Elegant Tag Punch. So I used this and embossed it on this basic gray layer. I use this beautiful ribbon, and we'll get into that when we get going with it. And I use the tag punch. Now the tag punch is a short one, but I'm going to show you a little trick to make it longer. So let's get started. This is actually a top folding card. It says, hoping your birthday is filled with all the best things. Now the sentiment that I got for the inside is from the Sunny Sentiments. This is a great set to have. They're big and bold, and I don't know, they're happy. They make me happy. I made a card yesterday on my blog, Happy Hello, and I thought it was really cool. So let's start with our embossing. I have my pieces. I'm using the basic gray, and I am using, this is 5 by 3 3/4. I kept it the same color, and I just kind of popped it up. This is actually going to be a very bulky card, so if you were putting it in the mail, maybe don't pop this up. And I did not pop up the tag because the ribbon itself is pretty bulky. So just a tip, sometimes it's better to hand it in person or put it in whatever you're mailing instead of just mailing it as a card. Otherwise, I think you have to pay a little bit higher for your mailing. So the first thing I'll do is use my embossing buddy. Now Stampin' Up! Doesn't carry these anymore, but I think that you can get them on Amazon. I think there's other companies. And it's just some powder in here that makes sure that the static cling doesn't affect where your embossing powder goes, and it doesn't end up melting in the wrong places. So let me get my stamp. I'm using this large. I love this stamp. I think it's so pretty. And to be honest, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I almost didn't emboss it because it's just so pretty as it is. Just using the Versamark ink. And that's how you can get a watermark on your project. And it's really pretty. You'll see. Let me just move this down. And I'm just going to go right up to the corner as close as I can and press it down. Now, if you wanted to do this with your Stamparatus and put a couple of coats on, you could do that. But isn't that pretty just on its own? Don't even need the embossing powder. I really loved the way it came out, and I really was back and forth on whether to emboss it. So you can go make one way and make one the other way. Lots of choices, right? And then we'll do this one coming up here. And the same thing, I want to get as close to the corner as I can. And I just want to press it down and make sure I get it nice and inked up. Okay, and now let's put some embossing powder on it. And I'm using white embossing powder. And we just want to be careful that we don't touch what we just inked up with the Versamark. So pick it up from a different corner. So this one, I just keep a little container of it with a spoon, and I'll just go over. And I hope I have a paintbrush here, because it looks like I have some that I want to make sure I get off before I emboss it, before I heat it. So there's a little bit here. Let me just grab a paintbrush. Here, I have one. So I thought I did. So there's just a little, you know, stragglers here and there that you just want to get off, because what will happen is when you use your heat tool, you'll melt these little specks wherever they are. And the embossing buddy really helps with that, but it doesn't get it all. Looks like I've got some over there. Let's see if I can give it a good flick. Okay, I think that looks good. So let's put this away so we don't have powder flying everywhere. And now I'm going to make some noise. So I'm going to get my heat tool, and I'm just going to heat it, and you'll see it turning white. It's actually pretty cool. Just want to get this going, and I'll probably speed this up. Okay, I love watching the embossing powder melt and changing to the bright white. So the way you make sure it's all embossed is it should all be shiny. If it's not, you want to just go back and hit it. This looks good. And we are going to add it to our card base, but let's make our tag first. Let me just get rid, I think there's a little powder here. So with the tag, I have, this is just under, I'm just checking, just under 1 3/4. So from here to here is 1 3/4. And you just want to make sure you can get into it. So I'm going to lay this down and I'm just going to feed this from the back right up. And sometimes it gives you a little bit of a hard time. So the first one is pretty easy. You just want to punch it down. And now you've got this big, long kind of bookmark. And then I'll do my stamping, the sentiment, and I'm using basic gray ink to go along with the back, the card base and the layer. And we'll just get this lined up and just stamp it down. Okay, and I finally put my stickers on some of my stamps. I was having a hard time. I don't put my stickers on my stamps. If you know me or followed me, you know that. But I decided I would do it because some of these words, I want to make sure they're straight, and it just made it easier. I just don't like how sticky they are. They're a little bit too sticky for me. And now I'm using this pretty, I love this, and I actually want to stamp it off. So let me get a piece of scrap paper. This is the polished pink, and it's pretty dark. And if you like that, you can go with the dark. I wanted to just stamp it off first. And I'm just going to put it down below. And it goes off a little bit, but that's okay. And then we'll close this up. And then what I want to do is just cut this down so I can fit the other end into the bottom of the punch here. So now I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to feed it in this way. And I think I want to cut it a little bit more. I want it to be very close there to the flower. And you can make it as long or as short as you want. I almost did it the wrong way. So you're just going to feed it in, see where you want it, and punch it. So now you have a longer one versus just stamping and punching. I'll show you the difference. So this is, see, and it's just barely making it, the difference in the size. So again, you can make it as long or as short as you want. Okay, so let's get rid of this stuff, and we'll put this down. So again, I'm going to put this down with some dimensionals. And you can use one of those big, the foam strips if you wanted. I'm just going to go along and put them down. I have a back from another one, from that one. I got the back off with my finger. Okay, and we'll just take these off. Now this is a top folding card. I don't usually make top folding cards, but I wanted to do that today for some reason. Just shake it up a little bit, make it a little different. Okay, so let's put this down and just see if it looks centered and straight. So I think that's pretty, and then I'm going to put this down right flat. So let me get my stamp and seal. I'm going to put a little dot there, just to make sure the whole thing is down and solid. So we'll just put it kind of at an angle. Okay, and let's get our ribbon. So this is a really wide ribbon. It's called Smoky Slate textured ribbon. and it is 7/8 of an inch wide, and it is textured. It's really pretty. I love it, and I thought it would be nice on this. I didn't know if it would be too bulky or not, and it is pretty big, but I just thought it was very elegant to go along with this card. This would be a great card for a sympathy card as well. So we'll just tie this. And I don't want it to be too big. So I'm just going to kind of work it. Let's see how that looks. That's still a little too big for me. Okay. I think that's good. So let's get our ribbon scissors and just cut the tail and do this side. See how that looks. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I actually put this down with glue dots, and I put one on the middle, and then I put them on the tail. So again, there's something wrong with my glue dots. I don't know why, but for some reason they're on the wrong side. And I'll show you what I mean. So let me just put this down. And you could put them on the bow, on the tails. So usually your glue dots are here and you just press. Mine are here. Don't know why, but it's okay. So I'm going to put one on my tail just to, I want to make sure this one is away from the wishing so you can read the sentiment. So I'll just put that up there. There we go. Isn't that pretty? So then I decided I would put some elegant faceted gems because we're going with the whole elegant thing. And I'm using the white ones, and I just put one. Did I do the white ones? I did. They looked a little different up there. I put a big one and a little one. I've been doing that a lot lately for some reason. And then up here, a big one. Oops. I lost it. There it is. And a little one. And then I just put a little one on by the sentiment. Okay, so that's the card front. I think it's really pretty. So then on the inside, I did some stamping. So again, I used that one stamp from the Sunny Sentiments, hoping your birthday is filled with all the best things. And I did another flower. So let me get my scrap just in case I go off. So let's start with the flower. Another polished pink. Okay. And I am going to stamp it off again. And this actually is really beautiful in the Smoky Slate if you wanted to just keep it all the same tone. It's really is pretty. And then I did the this kind of border stamp with the basic gray, and I stamped that off just to get a lighter color, just to kind of offset it from the sentiment. So let me just stamp it once. I love that. And then I just kind of centered it. It doesn't go top to bottom, but I'm okay with that. And I did that before I did the sentiment for the inside because I wanted to get a feel for where this would look centered. Let me just make sure this is good. Okay. Okay, so we have that done, and we can put that on the inside of the card. Get rid of all this junk. I always make such a mess. But I think that's what you do when you're crafting, right? If you're not messy, you're not doing it right, I think. I'll put this on the inside of the card, and I'll have two elegant, beautiful birthday cards. I love a gray with a pink, so basic gray with the polished pink is a pretty combination. It just gives it a little bit of, you know, little spark of color on the gray. So aren't they pretty? So thanks for joining. Come back again for my next video. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. All right, have a good day. Bye.